Innocence is not lost over the course of a lifetime. Far too often.
850 KOA News Time, 12:02. I'm Joe Chiuro.
It disappears within the confines of a moment.
You may want to find a way to cool off this weekend. It's going to be a hot one.
One raw and unpredictable moment.
The movie Dark Knight Rises just getting underway at theaters across the metro area.
On a warm July night in Aurora, that moment arrives at 20 minutes
Unit standby for a tower.
to 1.
Engine 8, Battalion 1 on the shooting, 9 George 2. And there is at least one person that's been shot, but they're saying there's hundreds of people just running around.
1,400 people are in the building that night. Many are there to see the premiere of the new Batman movie. The building itself is located near the intersection of Exposition and Sable and just to the southeast of the town center at Aurora Mall. Inside the building, there is panic within Theater 9. A gunman has entered the theater through an emergency exit and is still killing people quickly and randomly.
Somebody is still shooting inside theater number 9 per an employee.
Sitting in the third row of the stadium seating, second from the right, is a 28-year-old named Pierce O'Farrell.
I got down, I closed my eyes, and I started praying, and the shots got closer and closer, and the first ones that got me were the buckshot pellets from a shotgun in the toes.
The theater is a half mile from Aurora Police Department headquarters. 4 minutes after the first 911 call, an officer is out front asking for more help.
453, I have a party shot here. I need rescue hot.
453, exactly where are you?
Front of theater.
3 minutes later, the first fire engine, paramedic engine 8, is on scene. There are only 2 ways into the parking lot. The driver chooses the northernmost one.
We have multiple victims, probably at least 4 now.
Firefighters encounter walking wounded and stop their engine short of the entrance. Aurora Fire starts talking about where to put the ambulances that are already on their way.
Okay, let's set up ambulance staging at Expo and Sable. Is that where they wanted us to stage in the first place?
That very same minute, Aurora police officer Jason Oviatt has one man in custody near the rear emergency exit.
What? Is that a suspect? Yes, we've got rifles, gas masks. He's detained right now. I've got an open door going into the theater.
Like, at first I thought it was a prank, and then felt my organs come out, so I laid down, just sitting there, and I'm just like trying to listen to the things going on around me, because the only thing I could look at was pretty much the ceiling.
Farah Soudani is trapped in the 12th row.
Every second felt like an hour going by.
At 12:49 a.m., Officer Chris Nyman decides he has seen enough.
I'm taking one male to the hospital in my car.
6 seconds later,
I got 7 down in theater 9. 7 down.
a fellow officer no longer needs to wonder what a mass shooting might look like.
They tried to pick me up, but when they did, they grabbed me by this arm, and, my humerus was split in half, and that hurt, man. I started screaming, telling them to put me down, and I told them I could probably get up if they helped me.
Aurora 911, where is your emergency?
Aurora Police and Fire Dispatch share the same room.
Is that a house or an apartment?
203 and 207.
Okay, do you know how long the door's been open for?
211.
That night, dispatchers work to connect fire with police and police with fire.
Who's command here?
It is a confusing
Who is command here?
and cumbersome task.
Dispatch, give me some ambulances on Sable. I want ambulances on Dillard's lot.
Police want ambulances in the Dillard's parking lot. Fire is staging ambulances near Exposition and Sable. Caught in the middle are police officers who are growing increasingly agitated.
Lincoln 25, I've got one ambulance here. Where are my ambulances at?
1 minute later, police declare Theater 9 secure. There are wounded everywhere.
Some people saying, what are we going to do? Some people, the officers asking for ambulances. You can't really pinpoint one conversation.
In the minutes that follow,
PD is saying they cannot evacuate the patient that's in theater 9. They need medical personnel.
Copy.
there will be one request.
Again, PD is requesting medical personnel in Theater 9. They have a child down and cannot evacuate.
After another.
PD is again requesting emergent medical to the back of the theater.
An internal Aurora fire report will, months later, suggest rescue crews as they approached the theater were, quote, inundated with patients. Entry points were impeded by police activity, and responding units were stopped by frantic moviegoers covered in blood and carrying critically injured patients. Yet it is also important to note that as late as 1:05 a.m., or 20 minutes after a suspect is in custody,
Copy. All units responding to the theater.
dispatch talks as if the gunman is still out there.
Suspect is male, unknown race, black camo outfit, possible vest, gas mask, and multiple long guns.
Paramedics and fire don't generally go into a hot scene or an unsecured scene.
Sean Messenger advises dispatchers across the country. From his office in Utah, he told us in active shooter situations, any additional suspect reports have to be taken seriously.
If we get two conflicting reports or two different descriptions of maybe the same person, they're generally going to assume that that is a different shooter, so that they're going to be looking for that person.
At one point, Aurora police officers even offered to escort paramedics in.
Advise rescue that the officers would be there for security. That's the best we can do at this point.
Aurora Fire insists its paramedics, along with paramedics with the private ambulance company Rural Metro, were well aware of the risk that night and still fought to get close and get inside, a point proven by this radio report from Aurora Paramedic Engine 5 at 1:03 a.m.
We're on the east side of the theater on Sable. Do you want us to attend to the patients on the east side?
Even then,
You only have one patient there, correct?
communication was muddled.
Police officer told us there's 9 patients.
Yet, by that time, the massive and unorthodox evacuation of patients was already well underway.
We're using any available hospital at this point. Copy. 2 more critical to University.